DB to CSV. Okay, just to understand what that project contains, let me call it as DB to CSV. It is not unique, so maybe I put 111, so it will be unique. Finish. Okay, and let's add flow. In case if you feel that I'm rushing and you're not understanding, just hold me there. Okay, don't carry any misconception, any wrong thing, or any misconcept with you. Okay, then I will require HTTP listener. That's fine. Let me configure HTTP listener completely first. Okay, so HTTP listener, let me select it. Here I need to have HTTP connection configuration. Okay, and here I do have localhost. I take 9001. Let me check whether 9001 is already used or not. Let me say test connection. So if it is giving me green signal, test connection successful, that means it is not used anywhere. Okay, that's perfect. It's not used anywhere. That's okay. Path is slash. This is general configuration. Once I save this, this is okay. Now let us take this select. This is first time we are using select. Let us take this select and let me configure the database connection. If you look at global elements, right now there is only HTTP listener global element is there. Okay, so there is one more which will be there now shortly, that is database connection. Let's see that. So let us have connector configuration plus, and let us configure that. Now first thing, connection, just select MySQL connection. Okay, so which kind of connection you are creating? Are you creating any other connection? No, I want to create MySQL connection. So once you select that, the stuff got changed. One more step, configuring database. So if you remember, whenever we downloaded database and MS SQL server, MySQL database and MySQL query browser, you can use MS SQL server also, Oracle also, any kind of database. So MySQL we downloaded, MySQL query browser we downloaded, and one jar file we had. If you remember, that jar file is nothing but database driver. I show you that jar file, I kept it in Mule4 here. In Mule4 directory, I kept this MySQL connector jar file. This works as driver. Okay, this works as driver. So I need to browse that driver over here. And let me see, configure. I'll say use local file. Okay, now I'm going there. I'm saying use local file, browse, and I will select that particular file. So I go to C:, I'll go to Mule4 and I'll select this, and you can see it turned green. Now here one disclaimer I want to put. In case if there is some problem and somehow after waiting for some time, even this is not turning green, then you need to take the other option, which is nothing but like add recommended library. Let me do one thing. Let me remove this configured library. Okay. And here you can see add recommended libraries. So it will automatically download that recommended jar file from internet. Okay, you don't have to bother local file. For me, local file working fine. You check it. If local file is working fine for me, it should work fine for you. But suppose out of all of you, suppose one or two cases are like this, where local file is not working, you can go for add recommended libraries. This time I take add recommended libraries. You can see this is downloaded and it will turn green. So either you take add recommended libraries or you use my shared local file, no problem. So it turned green, then only you move on. Localhost. So my database is running on the same machine. Port number, if you remember, 3306 is the port number. Do you remember that? So whenever you connect that with MySQL query browser, hope you got this. Here, You can see the port number is, where is that? Okay. So here the port number is coming 3306, and that's what you're using. Okay, the same port number I'm giving here because I'm connecting from my Mulesoft to database. User, root, password, admin. So everybody knows the password now, it's admin. Database, it's a database instance name, which is Mule. Okay, and after that I'll say test connection. Now just look at the configuration and let me know if you have not understood anything. I selected MySQL connection first, then I configured the JDBC driver, and then I configured all of this. Just look at that and let me know if you have not understood anything. Should I click on test connection? Just let me know. Running fine. Okay, see if all configuration you understood. Okay, very good. Good to go. Test connection. Fingers crossed. It is connecting to the database and forming, checking whether the connection is formed or not. It is actually forming the connection. Excellent, very good. So you've done it. So that's what connector configuration is done. Then the query text. If I want to fetch all records from the employee, the query is very simple. So maybe I will follow the syntax. You can put everything is small, of course. Select star from employee. Don't give any semicolon, that's fine. Select star from employee, that's all. Don't do anything else. Input parameters, so we are not touching that parameters to query and all right now. Let's not worry about that. Now, this select will give us set of records. Now, what do? You don't have to bother about what is the output of select and how I can give it to the input to the transform message. Don't worry about that. You just take transform message and your worry will be solved. Let me take transform message, this one. I'm just taking transform message and input schema will be automatically configured. You can see that. So I'll come to this transform message. See, you can see this is the input schema, which got, you can see output metadata is undefined. This is output metadata, which is undefined. But if you see input metadata, it is automatically configured that array of objects, EMP-ID, e-name and salary. Because you are attaching this transform message after select, this is what the input to the transform message. What is the output of select? That will be the input to the transform message. So that is automatically configured. If you don't have it configured like that, then it's like it is undefined, you know. For example, what I do, I just put a logger. I just put here and here, still that is coming as input. Okay, so let me put some jargon over there. Okay, and now let me just remove this. Let me put transform message here. Of course, that is smart component which detects that this is logger, you know. If we have some processing component, anyway, the point is that, let us not get into this. The point is, if I put transform message after some processing component, it automatically detects that what is the output of that processing component. And that is automatically configured in this input metadata. Now, output metadata, here we need to configure the sample file, which is, I told you that in the output metadata, we are supposed to configure the sample file. Then it will load the schema. See, there should be input schema, output schema. That's what is required. And then we will do the mapping in between. That is what the transformation is. So what I do, I just configure define metadata. And here in define metadata, it is saying add. Now you will require some time to use to with this interface. But firstly, what I need to do is that I need to create the data type. And then I will tell that it will be CSV type. So I just say add and I put CSV type. I'm creating a custom data type over here. I just create the data type. Let it be displayed over here. And that data type, I will say that this is CSV as per this particular schema. Let me see this data type over here. Perfect. So you can see this CSV type is there, and this one is simple type. No, I want to take it as CSV. Here the schema should be visible. Now from where the schema is loaded, it will be loaded from the sample CSV file. So here I browse, and here I get that C colon data sample files, and we have created, what is the name of that file if you remember? Employee, what is that? Sample. Let me see what all file got created. Yeah, employee data sample. So let me see that file. Employee data sample. This one is the file. Let me open that. The moment you select this file, automatically it has detected all the columns. Now, if you look at this column, all of them are string, but my EID is number, because from CSV, it cannot detect that which is number and which is not number. It is just fetch all of them as string. You know that EID is number, so you can very well change it to number. Compensation is number, you can very well change it to number, and you say select. Now what you have done, from the sample file, you loaded the output metadata in the transform message. Have a look on that. Okay, so EID, the names are not same. Names are mismatching. Salary, compensation. E name, employee name. EMPID, EID. So the mismatch is there. In the CSV column and the DB fields, there is a mismatch. That we will actually remove the mismatch now by mapping. So I just select this employee ID, drag it to EID. Employee ID, it had not happened actually. I don't know what happened. Okay, so now you can see that this code got generated over here. So you are assigning employee ID to EID. What this code is called as? This code is called as, rather I uploaded as my WhatsApp status, I uploaded the video which is related to this one only, DWL. Okay, in the morning, which I will just replace now. So DWL is nothing but data weave language. I suggest you go and check that. Maybe after the session, after half an hour, I'll replace that with another video. Generally, I keep 3 videos. Sometime if the time duration is less, I keep only 2 videos. So I'm going to replace that maybe after the session, within half an hour, I'll replace that data weave video. I just want you to check that. It's just 1 minute video at my WhatsApp status. Go and check it. DWL, it's a data weave language. It's a transformation language. Transformation language. Okay. So whatever expression, whatever mapping you are doing over here, it is generating this DWL code for that. Okay. So right now we just do mapping e name to employee name. You can see the mapping got added over there. Salary got assigned to compensation, and the code is generated for that. Perfect. You can see this is the looping thing, you know. It's a looping mechanism, and you are just loading all the content of database records, maybe 5 record, 10 record, whatever, into CSV, and CSV is getting generated. Now, one thing I missed out to show here, we want to generate the CSV file also. Okay, so it's not sufficient to show it as a logger, but I need to have write file also, which will actually create the file, create the CSV file. We have already used write file, by the way, at many places, isn't it? Bhargav got late. Okay, I hope you were there while I was discussing the whole thing. I have not realized that you joined. Okay, it's all good. Write we will be required because CSV file has to be written. So let me put that. Okay, so let's come back to the project. Let's have logger, which will print the payload, which is nothing but CSV content. So it will be printing the payload. And what we have is, finally, I want to, whatever the payload is there, I want to push it to the file so that CSV file will be really generated. Write will be from file. Don't take it from FTP or SFTP. FTP is a file transmission protocol. Whenever you upload it on the internet, In secure way, it is SFTP, secure FTP. And FTP is a file transmission protocol. Whenever you upload it on the internet file server somewhere, then you use this. On the local file, you use simply this. And let me drag and drop this. And let me put the whole thing like path. So I want to put it like C colon data. We said employee something, employee, what is that? We said we have seen the file. I think here I wrote it. Yeah. C colon data, EMP data. Okay, let me put it. C colon. So C colon data. Now inside that we don't have EMP data. It's better to create that. Don't depend on Mulesoft project to create it. You need to have the folder ready. So EMP data, new EMP data. Of course, if you don't have that, it will create it. But then again, it's not a right thing to do because it may be containing some files already. Employee data, and what is that? Staff.csv. Let me put it. This is what is my path. Let me put it here. And let me put slash staff.csv. That's what is generated. Payload will be written, overwrite, and all other things are fine. Let me save that. All good. Any configuration which you have not understood, which you want me to repeat, transform message, have you understood? And whatever mapping you do, whatever language it is getting generated, it is DWL. Please ask if you have any configuration in the project which you have not understood. Are you ready to run? Just type R. If you have the question, just type Q. R for ready to run. Okay, you want me to run that. Very good. You can either debug or run that, no problem. So I debug, save changes, absolutely. And you can see whatever my database component. Let me check my database records, Okay. Database records, root, admin, and I'll put, yes, so using that records, select, oops, the memory load of system is extremely high. Okay, so I think that's fine. Let me just run it. Oops, maybe, I don't know what is to be closed. Let me do one thing. Let me close this smooth draw, guys. Smooth draw. Let me close this. I don't know what memory usage is high really. So let me close this also, Notepad++. Too much of load on the memory, that's what it's happening. Let me close the browser also. Let me close, yeah, let me see that now. Yes, so many applications, that's my bad habit. Okay, so you can see these all records and all is there. These all records will be converted into CSV and that will be put in that particular file. Let's see, deployed, yes, deployed. Postman to just trigger that application. Postman is not sending any query parameters, nothing. Okay, so just 900. Let me close it. Let me delete this, close it, and I just say send. And I want the CSV content to be appeared in the output also. Let me see. Yeah, I do have all records appearing over here. Okay, and I will have it displayed in the console as well. So you can see all records are displayed in the console as well. So you can see those are not well formatted, but here you can see this is heading. This is what heading is. Let me show you. This is what heading is. Okay, at the end, and you can see all the records are displayed over here. Okay, and the file also got generated. Let me show you that. C colon emp data stuff, and have a look on the file. Okay, so this is how the file got generated. Understood? Okay, anything which you have not understood, let me know. And please don't take my words wrong, but completing challenges absolutely integral part of that. Once you lag behind, you will miss the train. Okay, so everybody, maybe weekly basis, I'll track who all submitting, who all not submitting, and I'll send you weekly one friendly message, okay. So just don't mind if you get such messages from me. That is my responsibility to get it done from you. Let me give you the challenge for today now.